Welcome back. It is the Buckmaster Show. It's time for our monthly interview segment featuring our monthly scam alert presented by the Better Business Bureau of Southern Arizona. Miriam Cruz is with us. Miriam is the Director of Communication and Consumer Affairs at the BBB. Miriam, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. I want to talk a little bit about people who are scamming folks on online. That people go online, they think they're going to buy a legitimate designer, perhaps women a purse, or guys like a designer belt or something. Guess what? A study by the Better Business Bureau finds that these fraudulent consumer goods are really all over the place.
Yes. So Better Business Bureau recently issued a study, and it's called Fakes Are Not Fashionable, a BBB study on the epidemic of counterfeit goods sold online. And it was very surprising because when I think of counterfeit goods, I'm like, oh, they probably, happen once in a while, but it seems like they're very it happens very often. So because more consumers shop online, the possibility that they will not get items, or that they will get items that are counterfeit, it's much larger. In fact, 1 in 4 people have bought something online that turned out to be counterfeit.
And give us an idea of the kind of brand name goods that are being peddled as original and they're counterfeit.
Right. So the most common products that are counterfeit are brand name sunglasses, designer clothing, sports jerseys, watches, jewelry, handbags, electronics. Apple seems to be, one that is counterfeit a lot just because of the electronics. And any well-known designer, brand is really can be counterfeited.
And I would imagine, Miriam, this would be a huge economic impact on our economy.
Exactly. So the BBB report found that all these counterfeit goods and the fact that they also interfere with intellectual property piracy, it costs the U.S. economy from $200 to $250 billion.
Wow.
Yes. And it also, 750,000 jobs are affected annually because of this.
Are you getting a lot of complaints? Has the BBB been receiving a lot of complaints from consumers?
So we have this great tool called Scam Tracker, and more than 500 scam trackers were reported across the U.S. and Canada last year. But we also received 2,000 complaints from consumers reporting counterfeit items that they purchased online.
How do we go about protecting ourselves? And this report shows that I guess the vast majority of these counterfeit goods are coming from China and Hong Kong.
Yes, about 88% of all counterfeit items come from China and Hong Kong, unfortunately. In fact, custom agents seized about $1.2 billion in counterfeit items back in 2017, which is the most recent stats that were provided by that agency. But some of the things to look out for is when you're shopping online, make sure that you know who you're buying from. Sometimes we go to Google and kind of search for items that we're looking for. And a lot of these scammers know that you will kind of click on the ads or the first research result that shows up. And they purchase those ads and they purchase those ad words that will kind of grab your attention. So they'll click on them and then it'll go to a fake website. And that's how it all starts. And they're really smart because you would think, well, how do people fall for these, fake items? Yeah. Don't they look fake?
Right.
But in reality, no, they don't look fake because they use the real logos, the real pictures, the real, images that they steal from the real websites to lure consumer in. So just be a little bit careful and research the websites.
What is the BBB doing? Are you attempting to kind of identify and then report on these bogus businesses?
Exactly. So we have a very powerful tool, which is our database of businesses. So for those businesses that are selling counterfeit items, that might be legit or have a business profile with us or are registered, we're really trying to close them down and report on those. And through our Scam Tracker resource, we're also trying to track, what are the avenues or the platforms that these scammers are using because most of them are not legitimate businesses. Most of them are not registered. So just building awareness through our scam tracker and, collaborations with media and TV and the public at large.
What can you do as far as, is there a way to get your money back?
Right.
Might be a little difficult if you're dealing with somebody in China or Hong Kong.
So I guess one of the tips that we are offering consumers is if you are purchasing items online, make sure to use a credit card. And the reason for that is that they offer a lot more protection. If you purchase an item with your credit card online and you get an item, you never get the item, or let's say you get an item and it's not the item that you wanted or is counterfeit, you can always call that number in the back of the credit card and report it. And usually, they're really good. They'll do a little bit of investigating, but they'll refund your money. But you have to do it fast because you only have a certain window, usually 1 to 2 weeks. So as soon as you find out that you purchased something that is counterfeit, contact that number on the back of your credit card.
Miriam Cruz is with us from the Better Business Bureau. We're talking about really what has turned out to be just an epidemic of fakes that, as the BBB investigative study points out, fakes are not fashionable. A BBB study of epidemic of counterfeit goods sold online. What about some of the big marketers like eBay, Amazon, Facebook? Do they bear some, or what responsibility then do they have if on their sites they are offering counterfeit products?
So I think the good thing about these big brands or the brands that you mentioned is that they do have programs in place to kind of help the consumer, protect the consumer. So as long as the consumers report it, they will take certain steps to prevent it. But just like in anything that's online, they try their best, but some, scammers are very smart and they kind of get around these. But yeah, if you ever purchase anything from, let's say, Amazon or PayPal or eBay, make sure you contact them and let them know and kind of look at their policy before you make purchases. And that way you know what to expect in case that happens to you.
When you look at some of these goods and something looks too good to be true, like you're going to see a designer handbag that's being offered that normally would sell for anywhere from $400 to $500, for example. Then you suddenly see someone offering it on the web for $15. I mean, that's a red flag, right? I mean,
yes. Yeah. And that's definitely a red flag. But, the study also found that scammers are not using that tactic anymore.
What are they using?
Yeah, they're not promoting, or they're not.
The price is not the motivating factor.
No.
Then that's not their lure to get you in. What is the thing that's getting you in?
Well, the thing that's getting you in is just that it's just a little bit under the regular price. Not really a large reduction. Maybe it's $50. Maybe it's $20. If it's a handbag, that's $2,000, but you can get it for $1,700.
That is good advice, because the obvious would be if it's a huge reduction. But if something is retailing for $2,100 and then you see it for $1,750 or something, then you might be very tempted.
Yeah.
So,
because in reality, you think, okay, that makes sense. The handbag is probably on sale. It has like a 20% discount.
Sure.
It might be, a real bag, but scammers know that, and they use that.
Where can people go to find out more?
Go ahead onto our website at bbb.org. You may find the study there, and we also have a lot of tips and a lot of suggestions. And, Better Business Bureau, your local Better Business Bureau here in Southern Arizona, has a lot of information. So feel free to call us if you're ever in doubt. It's best to kind of call us and let us help you see if something is counterfeit or if it's a website is real or not, before actually providing all your information.
Let's talk about the BBB Networking Mixers. These are very successful events. What do you have coming up? Are you doing them now once a month?
Yes, so they are once a month. We took a little break in April because of our torch awards, but we're back on it once a month. The next one is June 18th at Barrio Brewing. It is from 5 to 7. And our sponsor is Home Watch Caregivers. So we're super excited. If you haven't been, please mark your calendars. From 60 to 100 people usually attend these events, and they're really fun. We have food, raffle prices, and a cash bar.
Do you have a sponsor each month?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is it this month?
It's Home Watch Caregivers.
Okay.
This month. Yeah.
And so there's all sorts of goodies that go along with this. There's no cost. You get some appetizers, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Raffle prizes, cash bar. How do people RSVP?
Yeah, just go onto our website at SOAZ BBB, so South Arizona BBB, and you'll find the event there and just click going and we'll see you there.
All right, June 18th, 5 to 7 at Barrio Brewing. Lots of good things happening at the Better Business Bureau serving Southern Arizona. Their website, the bbb.org/Tucson, has a wealth of information. If you're looking for some BBB recommended places, say you need a roofer before the monsoon, right,
Yeah,
Miriam?
exactly.
We've got the rains coming, so there's all sorts of great suggestions for you dealing with BBB members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Pleasure.
Miriam Cruz with the Better Business Bureau of Southern Arizona with us. All right, Buckmaster on 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk.